Hi there, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Inner Game of Winning TV show. I am excited to be sharing with you an incredibly important resource, and that is something that you just might be devaluing. I'm going to give you a hint. It's up here between your ears. You know, I'm sure you've heard that we don't really use very much of this amazing brain of ours that we have up here. And I use the analogy that if you owned a multi-billion-dollar property, picture in your mind, if you will, that amazing property with the pool and the tennis court and the yacht or the cruiser out the front. Can you imagine it, by the way? I can. So you wouldn't rent it out for $50 a week, would you? Of course not. But that's exactly what you're doing when you allow negative thoughts and limiting beliefs to reside up here in your brain. So you're totally devaluing this amazing thing that you've got between your ears. Does that make sense? So I say to every single client, by the way, that I've had the pleasure of working with. Now, yes, I work with elite athletes and performers, and I work with high performers in the workplace. But these skills, it doesn't matter what you do in the world, these skills are going to serve you really, really well. So listen up. Every single one of them was not really fully utilizing this amazing resource. And this incredibly simple tip is definitely going to help you as long as you practice it. Are you ready to hear what it is? Okay. Never allow a negative thought or a limiting belief or a behavior that you know deep down inside does not serve you. You know the one that it is. For me, it's sitting on the couch after I've had dinner at about 8:30, 9 o'clock and going, I might go and get some stevia chocolate. So whatever your one is for you, you know what it is, that behavior that does not serve you. Never allow the thought of doing that behavior or a limiting belief in your head or that nasty inner critic to reside up there for more than 5 seconds before you interrupt that sucker and kick it to the curb. Now, in Australia, speaking of kicking it to the curb, but we're not going to kick it to the curb. When we're driving a car and we do a U-turn in Australia, we say we are chucking a Yui. And I've come up with an acronym to help you remember 3 little magical words to add onto the end of any negative thing that you keep telling yourself. And believe me, I know that all of us say negative things to ourselves. And people say, oh, yeah, you've just got to think positive. Well, no. Because guess what? You've had plenty of practice at that negative stuff. It's not just magically going to go away. But the great news is you can rewire it. And this is how you do it. Are you listening? You have to catch it. You have to catch it every single time. Okay? Neurons that fire together, say the negative one comes in. If you wire a positive onto the end of it, neurons that fire together, wire together. So, only 5 seconds, and then you add one of these 3 magic words. So, for example, I've worked with lots of basketball teams, and some of the individuals, I never get chosen in the opening 5. Coach never chooses me for the opening 5. Or I can't get my free throws. I can in practice, but when it comes down to it, Catherine, I just can't get my free throws. The U in a Yui, when I said we use the term Yui. So when we do a U-turn in a car, by the way, what does it do? We're going in this direction. We do a U-turn, it takes us in a completely different direction. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen when you add one of these words onto the end of a negative. So if you find yourself saying in anything that you're attempting to do in life, I can't do it, or for example, your children, if you have children, they're very good at saying I can't. The Y stands for yet. If you say, I can't get my free throws in, Catherine. I can do them in practice, but when I get on that court, I just freeze and I can't do it. If you change your physiology and you go, I can't do it yet, what is that presupposing that you're about to be able to do if you keep on believing in yourself? Exactly, that you will be able to do it eventually. Okay, instead of constantly repeating this pattern that you won't be able to do it. Is this making sense, or is this making sense? The U stands for up until now. How often, again, do we repeat all of these things in our head and we start believing it? So our brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So we've got to tell it what we want it to do. It's just like putting in a GPS in the directions of our car of where we want to go. So if you say, I never get that job promotion. If you change your physiology, because if you go, oh, I never get that job promotion, and you are breathing the way that you're never going to get it, and you're saying those things inside of your head that, you know, Joe Bloggs that sits at the other desk over there that always reaches his sales target or her sales target is going to get the promotion or whatever it is, chances are you're not going to get the sales promotion. But if you change your physiology, you take a few really deep breaths, you stand the way you would stand if you had already received that job promotion. You breathe the way you would breathe if you already got that job promotion. And you say, I haven't gotten the job promotion up until now, and you really say it as if you believe it. Remember, body, mind, connection, it all intertwines. So let's recap so far. In the UE acronym, Y stands for exactly yet. I can't do that yet, presupposing you will be able to. The U stands for up until now. Again, you're telling yourself, I'm about to be able to do this. I'm about to be able to land this. I'm about to whatever it is. And finally, the I. This one's for you, Alex. I stands for in the past. Put it in the past where it belongs. How often in life, in sport, in our work environment, wherever we are, we stuff up. We make a mistake. We beat ourselves up, or even in a relationship for that matter. As I said, this is life skills 101, folks. We feel really bad. We drag those suckers of emotions with us into the current reality. Then what is it going to do? It's going to create more of the same thing. Whereas if you actually go back and learn the lesson and go, what do I need to do differently? Let go of the pain, get the lesson, bring it with you, and then go, okay, in the past, whatever it is you're saying to yourself, I never get chosen for the opening 5. I've never gotten the job promotion. I've never gotten to pitch at the sales company meeting on Mondays. Whatever it is, whatever industry or sport, or perhaps you're a performer and you're going for auditions, I never get a call back. In the past, change your physiology, the same as what we're talking about before. You have to feel it. You have to immerse yourself in the emotions as if it has already happened. Does this make sense? So let's recap. Chucking a UE means adding one of the 3 magical words. Y stands for yes. U stands for up until now, presuming things are going to be different right from this moment on. And I stands for leave it in the past where it belongs, bring the lessons and start fresh. So I hope you found this valuable. Never allow a negative thought, that nasty inner critic, which, by the way, in another one that I'm going to be doing, another In a Game of Winning TV, I will be showing you how to turn that sucker into your own personal cheer squad. And that, my friends, will totally transform your life. Believe me, my inner critic was giving me having a field day about 30 years ago. Yeah, about 30 years ago, it was chastising me and telling me I was so pathetic I couldn't even organize my own suicide properly. Thankfully, I'm here to tell the story, and thankfully, I learned to reprogram it and turn it into my own personal cheer squad, doing what I'm just teaching you to do. You know, when we start rewiring our brain, it's just like going to the gym. So when you go to the gym, if you go to the gym, and you start lifting weights, you start to get a muscle. Now, see it, but I've got a little bit of a muscle there that I'm very proud of, okay? Now, when neuroscientists can actually wire us up and show us our brain, the negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, those particular things in our brain are quite thick because they've had lots of practice. When you start interrupting and bringing in a positive, this other little dendrite is really thin. But the more you use it, this one's really thick and this one is not as strong. But the more that you use it, the thicker it becomes. And certainly in my experience, there's a thing that the brain does throughout our lives at different stages in our lives, and it's called pruning. And the brain will prune, just like when we prune our trees and bushes and things like that, the brain prunes what we don't need anymore. And I've got to tell you that very rarely does a negative voice pop up in my head. And I'm being really sincere and authentic with you. And on the very rare occasions that it does, it's interesting because my cheer squad pops in and knows exactly what to do to kick that sucker to the curb. So I'll teach you how to reprogram it in another TV episode. Be sure to, if you're watching this on YouTube, or even if you're not, head over to either Catherine Orford YouTube channel, or I've just started the In a Game of Winning channel, and I would so appreciate if you head over there because I don't have any subscribers yet. See how I added yet? And subscribe, because I will be definitely posting links to how to reprogram your inner critic in the next thing that I do. And I'm also going to be interviewing lots of amazing athletes, performers, and people that have risen above their circumstances using their inner game. So thanks again for your time. I hope you found this valuable. Feel free to share it with all of your friends, because let's face it, who we hang out with, they say that the 5 people we spend our most time with are going to impact our lives the most. So hang out with people that know how to do all of these things, and you will have a blessed life. Again, thank you for your time. Ciao for now.